What's going on, you guys? This is New York Adventurer 1994 here, and today is Thursday, November 9th, 2023, and today is the 1-year anniversary of when I went to Nashville, Tennessee in November of 2022. I stayed from November 9th through Monday the 14th that year. And I remember that I left the day after Election Day. Like that morning. It was like the morning after Election Day, the day after. I got up at like 3:30 in the morning and I left for LaGuardia Airport at like 4 in the morning, and I didn't get there till like 4:30. And once I got to LaGuardia, I went past TSA and I had Wendy's breakfast for breakfast, like a bacon and egg sandwich. And I was actually in the brand new LaGuardia terminal that was finished back in 2020. The new LaGuardia terminal looks much nicer than the old one did. It looks really nice and clean and really state-of-the-art. They have American, they have Southwest, they have JetBlue, they have United, and they have Air Canada operating out of that terminal. Yeah, Southwest was like right next to JetBlue in that terminal. And I was like on the right side of the terminal where Southwest was and JetBlue and United and Air Canada were. My gate was like somewhere in the 50 zone. And I boarded the plane about like 6:30 in the morning. I like did some plane spying where my gate was, and I boarded at like 6:30 in the morning. I remember I was flying Southwest to Nashville, and I flew Southwest also because there were some flights out of LaGuardia going to Nashville from Southwest, and also Southwest was like one of those great resorts to turn to because Nashville has like a Southwest hub over there, like a big Southwest hub over there where you see a lot of Southwest planes at once. Yeah, so I flew Southwest to Nashville out of LaGuardia, and I did some plane spying over there. I did see some JetBlue planes over there too. And I was like, we were like right next to where JetBlue was. And we boarded our Southwest plane at like 6:30 in the morning, and we departed at like 7:15 in the morning. We departed at like 7:15. That's the time when the plane took off. It was like nice and sunny out that day, I remember. But it was like really cold out. When we parked the car across the street where that hotel was, when we had to take a shuttle to the airport, like after we parked the car by that hotel, across the highway from LaGuardia, it was like really cold out. It was like 30 degrees. And that is cold. But that did not stop it from being nice and sunny out. And we left at like 7:15 in the morning, and we took off. And I remember during the flight, I was watching Minions: The Rise of Gru for a second time. Actually the third time, because September 2022 I saw it in theaters, and then I watched on Peacock during its debut on Peacock later that month, and then I watched it third time on the airplane. I remember I was online for takeoff. I got to see a lot of planes take off. So we took off, and the flight was like nearly 2 hours. And then we went to a new time zone, like another time zone. And we landed at like 8:40 Central. And it would be 9:40 Central and the plane landed in Nashville at like 8:40 Central, and it was 9:40 Eastern Time. The clocks on our phone automatically turn back. As I was saying, the clocks on our phone like change, and they could sense that we're going into another time zone. So they just change just like that. So instead of saying like 9:40, it said 8:40. And it went along with the central time zone. Once we got off the plane, we checked into the Red Roof Inn, like near the airport, and we got our day started. We hung out in the hotel for like a few hours, and then we called an Uber to give us a lift to the Grand Ole Opry. That's right, we started our trip off on the first day with the Grand Ole Opry in Nashville. It's not too far from where the Gaylord was for Nashville. And I forgot the name of the mall, but there was a mall over there too. Like a really big and nice mall, which nearly had everything. So yeah, we got a lift to the hotel, we stayed in there for a few hours, and we went to the Grand Ole Opry. And we got a grand tour of the place. Like, we got a grand tour of the whole place. And after we did our touring of that building, we headed right over to the mall. And we shopped in there for a few hours. And there was like this huge hunting store. And it had all these statues of animals that looked nearly realistic. They had a lot of hunting supplies in there. It looked really big, and they had a huge fish tank also. The place looked massive. It was like some Field and Stream store. It looked massive compared to what we have here, because New York has strict weapon laws. And then we got some dinner, and then it was like 5:30 and the sun was going down. 5:30 Central, and we went back to the resort. So the first day we did the Grand Ole Opry, and we went to the mall. And we ate at some kitchen store. I forgot the name of it. Yeah, I wish I remembered the name. It's like, I'm like drawing a blank right now of what the place was. Day 2 comes, and we go to Waffle House for our breakfast, and we go to the car rental at Nashville Airport, and we got ourselves a Chevy Blazer, and we actually drive to Kentucky for a brief moment, and we were going to some distillery up in Franklin, Kentucky, and got a tour of it. And then we went to a Walmart to get more jeans for me, and we were also getting food for our hotel room. And then we went to the city area and walked around for a few hours. That was Thursday, the 10th. And then Friday, we did one of the biggest things of the trip. We walked around, we drove 3 hours to Memphis to see Graceland and the Elvis Mansion. And we spent a few hours touring that whole place, and we left Memphis at like 1:30, and we went back to the resort. It was amazing. It was amazing looking through the whole history of Elvis Presley, walking through his mansion and looking through his history, looking at his vehicles. I remember getting some merchandise over there, and I got a new Elvis shirt.